Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you all have had a really amazing, great week. Thanks again for those who are starting to join today. Let me know in the comments here where you are tuning in from today. For those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, I do reside in the Tampa Bay area where I'm at today. Sometimes I'm in some other state or so, but today in the Tampa Bay area. So, welcome, welcome. And again, let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from today. For those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment is all about how do you become the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for those around you, because we have a lot of distractions around us, right? A lot of distractions. And sometimes it gets hard and we tend to not focus on ourselves as much as we need to, when really we need to make ourselves our number one priority. What does that look like? It means making sure that you're making a commitment to yourself to ask yourself, where do I need to grow as a person? Is it physically? Is it emotionally, spiritually, mentally, a combination of those things? And then take the action steps to make that happen. Before I get started today with today's mental health moment, I did want to remind you all, if you haven't registered yet, the Get to Worthy Summit. I will be speaking there in Philadelphia. So be sure to register. There is a promo code here on the screen. Hammond 10 is a promo code. You can get $10 off either the general admission or the VIP ticket. So again, if you are in near Philadelphia or plan to be in Philadelphia, May 24th and 25th, it's going to be a really great summit. I'm super excited to be there. Very excited to speak at this summit. It is being produced by Nate Evans Jr., who is just an outstanding human being. I've had the honor to know him for the last couple of years, and really everything related to mental health and wellness at this summit. And I really believe it's going to be life changing. So be sure to check it out. Again, information here in the banner here. But thanks again for those who are starting to join here. And I apologize, I can't see some of your comments here in the chat. I'm sure you're putting comments in the chat like you guys always do. But like I said, sometimes it just comes in a little bit later. But nonetheless, today's mental health moment. So we're already a couple months into the year here. We talked at the beginning of the year about making our wellness goals, right? So hopefully you guys have done that, whether it for you, whatever wellness looks like for you. When it comes to needing more self-care, a lot of you said that needing more self-care or growing emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, wherever it is for you that you need to work on growing. But here's the thing. There will come a point, because we're human beings, there will come a point where you are going to be frustrated. Whatever you wrote down on your paper at the beginning of the year, whatever goals you are looking to achieve, there will come a point where you feel frustration, right? Frustration is a very powerful emotion. So here's the thing about frustration. The secret, if you will, to get through your frustration is to really ask yourself. And for those of you who are my note takers, I know some of you are my note takers here on Mental Health Moment. I want you to write this down for this week, for something that you can work on and think about this week. I want you to think about, what are your healthy, big, huge asterisk on healthy. What are your healthy outlets to express your emotions? The reason why this is important is because you will get frustrated, right? That's we all do. But what are you deciding to do with that frustration? How are you deciding to express that frustration? What are the healthy tools that you have in place to get through the bumps in the road, the frustrations that you have, whatever your frustrations may be about, right? How do you deal with that? How do you resolve that? So again, jot that down for yourself to really, and maybe you're already thinking of something right now, but sometimes you need to spend time quietly with yourself to really ask yourself that. And let me take a step back and remind you all, this does not, I hope that this does not come for you from a place of self-blame, right? Because that totally defeats the purpose. We're not moving. This is the no judgment zone. So we're not moving into a place of self-blame, but hopefully for you, you can move into a place of reflection and think about, where is it that I need to add in? Maybe for some of you, I need to add in more healthy outlets to express this frustration. Or if you say, I'm good, let me, be on maintenance mode, or you want to improve on, on whatever coping skills that you currently have, right? There's no right or wrong place to be. But the most important thing to be thinking about again is, what are your healthy outlets? So here's a couple of examples of what could help you. But again, I always tell you all know, do what works best for you. So number one, which is really important, are you throughout your day, are you taking enough breaks? Right. So the other day I was speaking to a corporation, and their corporation just happens to be mostly remote workers. So a lot of the employees work remotely. And one of the questions that came up was, how do I work on my mental health? Right. Because there's stresses with being at home all day, and working, and balancing things, and personal life, family life, if that's the case, or whatever it is, like that can be stressful too. So one of the questions was like, how do we deal with that? Right? How do we find the balance? And one tool that you can use, again, we're talking about frustration today, but also if you happen to be in a remote setting for work, one of the things that the research is showing is the power of taking breaks. Very important. I have seen, man, throughout my psychologist career, it's something that's so simple. It seems like, oh, take a break, take a 5-10 minute break. But I have seen time and time and time again, when people implement this, I mean, kids, teens, adults, when they implement this into their day, it can really be a difference maker. Right? We just all have things going on. Your brain, we all need a break, right? So when you think about whatever it is right now, that maybe you're up against an obstacle, maybe you're just at a high level of frustration, and you're like, man, what is one healthy outlet that I can have to release this said frustration? One of the things is to think about taking a break. And when I say take a break, I know a lot of times people ask, like, how long of a break? It depends. It depends. Sometimes it's as simple as taking a 5 to 10 minute break, scheduled break, right? For you, like, okay, after a certain amount of time, after a couple hours, I need to take that scheduled break for me throughout my day, every day, right? You might need that. And in a way that works best for you, and what's allowable depending on where you work, or if you're working or school or wherever it is you're doing right now in your life. But sometimes also the break comes in the form of a mental health day, like just a whole day of just resetting and recharging your mind, and getting to a place where you can say, I want to in a healthy way deal with this frustration. Um, a mental health day is not going to make all your frustration go away, of course not, but it gives your brain a chance to think about how to get back into a relaxed state. Because when you have a high level of frustration, not only does it show up mentally for you, right? Maybe you're thinking about something emotionally, it's showing up physically. Sometimes it can show up. Now you have headaches, you have backaches, you have neck aches, like things are aching because you're so, like, you have that much anger and frustration inside. And spiritually, it can affect you as well. So having a large having a high amount of emotions, such as frustration, and it not being expressed in a healthy way, can actually bring your kind of your growth track back a little bit. Again, not coming from a place of self blame, though. I don't want you to come from that place of self blame. Actually, hopefully, as an aside, this year, if you haven't already, I hope you're on a journey to find more grace for yourself, and find for more forgiveness for yourself and others. So that's one tip. We're talking today about how do you deal when you almost hit the wall, if you will, and you have a high level of frustration. You have a high level of frustration. You're dealing with some pretty heavy emotions. How do you get through that, right? So one of the tools to think of, well, one of the things to ask yourself first is, what tools do you already have in place? So if you were to assess, if you were to write a list for yourself of, like, here's the things I do that are healthy to cope with my emotions, and be honest with yourself. Like, you don't have to show anybody this list, but here's a list of things that I do that are negative habits, that are not really healthy for you, mental health wise, physical, emotionally, spiritually, like, right? We all have them, the good habits and the not so great habits, right? And you really start to look at the list and you start to make some adjustments and you start to really reflect and take the time to say, what is working for me? What happens a lot of times is because we're busy. Who is not busy? All of us are, right? We're busy. We just we're just like living these hectic, chaotic lives sometimes. We don't take the step back to reflect on what is actually working for you. Because there could be things that you're like, you know what? These are the things that I can do that are healthy habits. I just need to do them more. Right. Or there could be some things that you say, you know what? Here's some unhealthy habits that I need to work on tweaking and changing. I will say, well, now at this point in my life, I do a ton of reflection, like a lot of reflection time, because I want to be a better version of who I am for myself and everyone around me. And also I want to show up powerfully here for you all, right? Whomever it is that I'm serving. So I do a ton of reflection and at different months or at different years, I'm working on something else, right? So for you, you have to ask yourself, what is it that you need to maybe add in, or what is it that you need to do less of when it comes to managing your emotions, when it comes to dealing with the frustration, right? So those are things that I want you to really think about reflecting on this upcoming week. And again, maybe something already came to mind, but if you get into a quiet place, I know many of us are busy, so it's hard sometimes to have our quiet times, but if you do find the time, a couple of minutes, and sit down with yourself and make that list, like I talked about before, the healthy things you do and the unhealthy things you do, and what is easy to adjust. There's some things that take a while, right? So if you, let's say you're a smoker, that's an unhealthy habit, maybe to deal with frustration and anger. It's for most people, it's not a cold turkey overnight experience where you're just going to stop smoking overnight. For most people, I know I've met individuals that has happened for them, but for the majority of people, it doesn't. So maybe if that's a goal that you're working on, right? It could take more time, right, for that. But there's also things on your list that you go, wait a minute, this is something I can easily change. So start with those things. What are the things that you can easily change that are unhealthy on your list, right? And then the things that are easier to continue doing, right, on the healthier side of your habits is what you want to do as well. So again, nothing is overnight that I ever teach a mental health moment. And also, I just want to remind you all that this is never, ever a substitute for therapy. If you need the advice of a mental health professional, if you need to seek counseling, if you need to be under that care, please reach out to someone, because it can be a really positive experience, and having someone that's a professional on that journey can be really, really helpful. And sometimes we just need to go that route, and that's okay too, right? So this is not a substitute. These are just tools each week for you to add to your toolkit, and things that you can do on your own, but knowing also that sometimes we need extra help, right? All of us do, and that's okay. At certain times we need another friend, we may need a mental health professional, may need a family member or someone else to help us, an accountability partner, someone else on the journey with us, which is completely okay. So one of the tips, of course, that I gave before about how to have a healthy outlet for your strong emotions was definitely taking a break. The other thing, of course, is to be in reflection often, as often as you can with yourself, to know what is working and what is not working, right? And whatever it is that you need to work on through these bumps in the road, we all have them. We all have the obstacles that come up. Some of you may be in a great, amazing time of your life. You're like, I am good. I have momentum. I have energy. Things are going great. Some of you may be like, Dr. Hammond, it is a dark time for me. Like this is the obstacle you were talking about, the rough spots, right? Like that's life. We're all at different stages, right? So again, making sure that you're taking your breaks, making sure that you're working on yourself, making that commitment, and making sure that you're staying reflective and within yourself to know what's working, to know what you need to add in, and to know what you need to take out. Really, really important when you think about managing your emotions. And those are just a few of them. There's so many more. But I don't want to overwhelm you with 300 tips that I could give you today, but I just wanted to give you a couple to think about this week. Um, so, for those of you who came in a little bit later, I'm going to just repeat one last time that if you're in the Philadelphia area, plan to be in the Philadelphia area on May 24th and 25th. I will be speaking there at the Get to Worthy Summit. You can go to gettoworthysummit.com and you can actually use my promo code Hammond10 to get $10 off of either general admission or the VIP package. And it is all things mental health, wellness, how to be a better version of yourself, right? It's really gonna be a great summit. I'm super excited to be there. Would love to see you there. So I'll be sure to register. Before I wrap up today, I do want to genuinely say I know many of you have been like with Mental Health Moment for years, have been tuning in. I recognize your names each week, and I just wanted to give you, well, everyone a shout out, even the new people too. But I want to give all of you all just like some praise that you are working on becoming a better version of who you are. Like it's a really great thing to make that commitment. It's a lifetime commitment, but the good news is when you're really in a healthy space and you're just like, how can I be better? How can I grow as a person? How can I bring a better version of me to not just for you, but for the people around you? It's such a beautiful thing for you to commit to. So I just wanted to say that I see you. You're totally seen. You are loved. You're amazing for doing that. So thank you for doing that for yourselves. Um, and I'll be back. And yeah, I have a lot more announcements coming up next month, but I'll wait till then. Super like exciting announcements coming up. But yeah, I have to wait until next month, wait until April, and I will have so much more to tell you all. But in the meantime, have an amazing week. I'm literally like bursting to tell you, but I have to wait. So, but nonetheless, have an amazing week. If you need me, you can go to drnekeshiahammond.com, which has resources on there, more info about me. And I think that is it for all my announcements, except for the ones that I can't say until next month. So, so have a great week. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.